And now say a few words and break out the champagne, my dear friend, Steve Boutin.
Yeah, I will actually. So Steve, our dear friend Steve, is going to say a few words, and we have champagne, but we're trying to figure out how to get it to all of you. So we've got 12 bottles, right, Steve? 12 bottles, so we're gonna have people wander through the crowd with bottles of champagne, and I have glasses, so maybe I'll hand some out and you guys can pass them around and we'll get the champagne out when it's time. All right. What do you think?
Or they can drink it out of the bottle.
Or you
Yeah, come on, some of us are from Woodland, out of the bottle.
I'd also really like to thank the Davis Fire Department and the police for coming and controlling this unruly crowd.
And they didn't shut you down.
Where do we put our tents? I want to know, Bob.
Bob, we have a question already. Apparently there's a Q&A. This is your new life. Bob says only 2 more hours for Q&A, so if you have any... Are we having a good time honoring Bob? So good evening and welcome to what is right now the happiest place on earth. And that's because, as we all know, we are celebrating Bob's 100th birthday. I'm corrected, that's next year. But actually, I think what we're doing is celebrating in a way what has become the most celebrated double colonoscopy of all time. and if you haven't read Bob's column on that, do. And also I think that will mean that some of the local urologists, their business is going to go way down. Bob, they're not going to be thanking you for that article. But that was absolutely wonderful. I think we also ought to just say that in just one cathartic moment, to thank the one and only Bob Dunning. Since Bob's trade was in words, I'll say a few. I think first of all, we need to thank Shelley as well as Bob, as most of you know. Yes. We often use the term community building. And I think we all know that Bob and Shelley in about 5 years doubled the population of Davis and did the community building. And as a community, we're very thankful to them. Very thankful to them. But also, many of us individually, we've been inspired, we've been moved, we've been made to laugh because of Bob over the years. And that is irreplaceable. Going through things as I was thinking about Bob and Shelley, I think we can look back and say Bob has been a very sensitive chronicler of the people and the events that have made Davis what it is today. Bob has been insightful, and we know Bob has been very candid. And the wonderful thing is, nobody agrees with Bob all the time, and I think Bob would say if we agreed with him all the time, he would question us immediately. But Bob has been an insightful and candid interpreter of our community, its successes, but also its wounds and its woes. Bob has reminded us at times of what's truly important. He's taken us back to values, he's reminded us of things, and he's made us aspire to things. Bob has also reminded us that we're all fruits and nuts. And that sometimes we just have to laugh at ourselves, not take ourselves quite so seriously here in this great town we live in. Bob has been our muse for inspiration, and he has been our mirror for reflection. He makes us think, he makes us smile, and maybe better yet, he makes us all laugh. Bob has been our heart, and he's been our mind. He's often been our conscience, and yes, he's even been our soul, a term that has many meanings, but Bob has given much definition to the term soul. And I think we can all agree, because we're all here today, that because of Bob, and because of Bob's thoughts and Bob's words, that our community and all of us are much better for it. So we thank Bob Dunning for that. And wrapping it up, one of the great things about an occasion like today is we're not standing in a graveyard. We are standing with a live, vibrant person with another 55 years in him. I'm assuming 55 years in him. Yes, yes. And so that means more wisdom, more challenging of the norms, more laughs. And I think we're going to anticipate this year for the 56th consecutive years, Bob will be predicting an undefeated Aggie football team.
This will be the year.
This will be the, oh, we have a question?
Well, yes, and a comment. I want to suggest that I'm certain that the size of your showing of people who will be coming on board is going to be staggeringly much higher because you write about Davis as if it were any community in the world. And so everybody can relate. So my question is,
We have a question coming up. There's a 3-minute Davis, yes.
when are you going to take some of your best? When are you going to take some of your best, and they're all best, articles and turn it into a book? It will sell.
So that's a great idea. So that's coming. Yeah.
I love it. This is Davis. This is interactive. Okay, we have one more comment because otherwise, let's see, I can count, and we will be here till a week from Thursday. So I'd love to hear this, and then we're going to wrap it up, raise our hands, raise our glasses to toast Bob. Here you go.
Bob, I read it, your comment daily. I love it. You are really, I'm here because you're an institution of Davis. You're that important. Or you should be institutionalized. I'm not sure which it was.
Okay, we're turning edgy here in Davis. All right.
She can write my next column.
Next column. Bob's going to go to guest columns now.
No, he's not.
All right, memorable day. So, for those of you who have a glass, let's raise a glass. For those of you who do not have a glass, raise a hand. We want to toast to our friend Bob Dunning, his past, his present, and to the future of Bob and all his family, even those in North Dakota. To Bob Dunning.